Motion, and you're like, wait, what's your name?
I've been called Debbie Cook.
Debbie Cook. I actually would do that. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. It is July 12th, and it is right at 5 o'clock. So I appreciate everybody being here for the July meeting. That's always one of our lighter attended meetings. So we do appreciate everybody that's here, being here. This would probably be the fewest people that we have at one of these all year long. So thanks for being here. Are we just going to do the pledge ourselves? Okay. So if everybody would stand up, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Do we have any changes to our agenda? Is everything good?
No, sir, unless the board has any additions.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Okay. Second. We have a motion by Mrs. Creek and a second by Mr. Ramos. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, now the consent agenda. There are 3 items there: the out-of-district transfers, the minutes from last board meeting, and there's a report on bullying. Is there any questions, any discussion about any of those items? I think Dr. Cleveland and I counted it up this morning, and we've got 24 kids transferring into the district and 10 transferring out of the district. So it's quite an extensive list of kiddos. If there's not any other discussion about it, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion by Mrs. Cook, a second by Mr. Owenby to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That brings us to Dr. Cleveland. I'm going to hand it off to you.
Great, thank you. The Arkansas Department of Education provides for a mentoring program for new superintendents in the state. And although I'm not a new superintendent, I've been one on TV for 20 years or so. Play one on TV, no. I've been asked to mentor, although the gentleman has a lot of years of experience in Tennessee, the new superintendent of Rogers, Dr. Perry, and he is in district now. But we will start the mentoring program at our end of the year July AAEA Administrator Conference. So they've asked me to do that, and it requires a resolution to disclose that the board would allow me to do that. It'll take a little time, not a lot, but I was hopeful that you all would allow me to mentor Dr. Perry.
Is there specific verbiage for the resolution?
Well, there is a long verbiage for the resolution. I think we'd be okay if we just made a motion to accept the resolution for Dr. Cleveland to be mentored.
I make a motion to accept the resolution allowing Dr. Jared Cleveland to participate in the superintendent mentoring program.
Second.
All right, I have a motion by Mrs. Creek and a second by Mr. Bell to allow Dr. Cleveland to serve as a mentor to Dr. what was his name?
Perry.
Dr. Perry in Rogers. Any further discussion about that? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any against that? Perfect.
Thank you. I look forward to meeting him and getting to know him. I think it's good to have a good relationship with our neighbors. Next, I know that you all have been reading the announcements in my emails about our new principal, Dr. Curtis Gladden at Southwest Junior High. He's not here this evening. And we have Miss Wendy Pickard, the assistant principal at Childers Knapp. We'll invite them in August when they're back on contract. But we do have Miss Jenna Sullivan here this evening. Miss Jenna Sullivan, you saw the announcement, is one of our new special ed LEAs with Miss Andy. And we're excited about her as she's developed here and look forward to her staying for a long time, retiring in the district, right? A long time. We don't like to lose people, we like to keep them, and we're very pleased. So, Ms. Sullivan, is there anything you would like to get up and say to the board? You don't have to. You don't have to.
We don't expect a presentation, but you're welcome to say anything.
I'm very excited to start as a supervisor here and support the students in our district. Thank you, Dr. Cleveland, and to the leadership team and the board for believing in me. I'm ready to get started.
Great. Glad to have you.
Glad you're here.
Thank you.
Mr. Rodney Ellis is on his way back from Hot Springs. Hopefully, we was hoping he could be here by 5, but he's been caught in some traffic on I-40. So he may or may not be able to make it. He presented today at one of the conferences down in Hot Springs. So he's really begun. He's on fire, and we're going to do well in the area of workforce education. So if he comes in, Mr. Hudson, if it's okay,
Yeah.
maybe we could recognize him at that point.
Sure. Okay, Mr. Hayes.
Good evening, Board, Dr. Cleveland. You know, everyone is talking about it. We're in the new school year. Unfortunately, I'm still in the last year. We're still paying bills that have come in late after June 30, but they're relating to prior year business. And we'll be working on journal entries and things of that nature for the next month or two. So you do have the report for June as it stands right now. I think I alluded to the fact that we're still paying some bills that will ultimately affect the balances that are shown. But overall, I'm very pleased with the year that we just ended. As you noted, our revenue was above budget. That was primarily in our local property taxes. They came in heavier than what we had budgeted, so that's a great thing. I do anticipate that continuing into the new year. I don't see our assessment values going down. I think we're on an upward trajectory. So excited about that. And then on the expenditure side, you can see that our expenditures were below budget overall. There were a couple of areas that were slightly above budget, but that was mainly because we were doing some shifting around of some expenses from federal to state dollars. So that was necessary in order to avoid sending any money back, because we don't like to send any money back. So overall, it was a great year. You will note that we were able to transfer $15 million to the building fund, which that will certainly come in handy as we're seeing inflation hit us in the projects that we are currently bidding. So that will definitely help us in that area. So do you have any questions for me about the June financials?
Make a motion to approve the June financials as stated.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Owenby and a second by Mrs. Cook to accept the financials as submitted. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Perfect.
Board, the next item that I have for you is to ask you to consider passing a resolution appointing a board member as a disbursing officer. Excuse me. Traditionally in our district, the disbursing officer, or the person that is on our checks, is the secretary treasurer of the board. So that changes every 2 years. There's, you know, it's a hassle to go down to the bank and have to take your driver's license and round everybody up and get signatures. There's a provision on the books, the state law, that allows us to appoint a member of the board as the disbursing officer. So I would ask the board to consider that. it's just going to make life easier for us. Nick Emerson is currently the person that is listed on there, since he was the secretary, and it will just allow us to continue with the person that we currently have. I've spoken with Mr. Emerson via text and asked him if he was okay with continuing, and he said yes. But of course, it's totally up to you. We can continue to change it every 2 years if that's what you prefer. We are required to have a school board member's signature on our checks, along with the superintendent, and then my signature is on there as well as the district treasurer.
Questions?
Yeah, so would we have to approve the resolution and then appoint who the person will be?
The resolution is appointing the person.
It has to be listed in here?
No, I didn't. I did not prepare an actual resolution. I just put the law in there showing that this is an allowable thing to do.
Yes.
We'll just in the motion, yeah.
Board, any other questions? If not, I would entertain
I make
a,
a motion that we pass a resolution naming Nick Emerson as our dispersing officer until we decide to change it later.
okay. So we have a motion by Mrs. Creek and a second by Mr. Bell to name Mr. Emerson as our dispersing officer. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed to that?
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that.
We should do something worse while he wasn't here. We should have elected him to something terrible.
Yeah.
What other
He's not over yet.
Yeah,
What other resolutions can we pass for him?
So, Mr. White, come on down, and he's got some news to share with you, and I'm sure you've been seeing some of the things happening.
Hello, Board. Dr. Cleveland. There we go. So I've got a construction update at Springdale High. They've got most of the bleachers down on the ground, and these pictures are from last week. So there's more work's happened since then. There you go. You'll have to. I got the job trailer inside in place, powered it. They actually added power to the old field house, the wrestling building. They're working on that today.
On the bandstands, are they gonna put like a temporary fencing across there for football season and then move the band over to where the student section is?
Mm-hmm. Yep. The band will move over. And then the final plan for this is a net. They'll go out onto the field, peel the turf back a little bit, and install a net to protect the new building. But that'll happen later on.
But for now, there'll just be a temporary fence there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there'll be a construction fence through there, because we'll have to have a safe path for the students to get from the old field house over to campus. Job trailer's in place. They've got power to it and power to the old field house is what they're working on today. This is the inside of the gym where we removed some of the flooring, some of the bleachers, and that will go back into the new arena. And this was Friday, I think. Yeah. This was Monday. And then they finished off today. So it's pretty much on the ground now. But that's when they started the demo. So like I said, as of today, it's pretty much on the ground. The asbestos abatement crew has taken a little longer in the flat building just because of the heat. They can't take water or anything in when they're inside working, so they're having to take several breaks to cool down. And so that's what's extended us on the flat building. And they're supposed to finish that this Friday. And we're working with Springdale PD. They're going to do some training in the flat building before we demo that out. Okay, so you guys have any questions at Springdale High? Okay, so this is at Central. This is one of the storage rooms that we're making into the kitchen. That'll be their makeshift kitchen for the next 2 years. So we've got a lot of the plumbing and the electrical and everything in there, and it's set to finish this week. That's the concession building at Central Junior High. They've got it pretty much on the ground. We've got a demolition meeting over there at 10 o'clock in the morning on the section of building that'll get demoed down. It'll start this week. So pre-con is at 10 o'clock. That's just another angle. They've got all the asphalt took out. They're getting the temporary roads in for the drop-off and pickup, and the bus drives. They'll all be completed by the time school starts. They've got the job trailer on site, and they're doing a rough undercut for the retention pond. So this is the 12 acres that we just purchased. So this is a before. I've got my guys over there cleaning that up. And then, so it's a before and an after. There's a before, and that's looking south. So he'll finish this up on Friday this week. We'll have all that cleared and ready for the power and the lay down areas for the construction company. Do you guys have anything else at Central? Any questions?
The road that they're starting to extend, Emma, is that the city or is that us using it for construction?
That's the city. So they're going to extend Emma over to 49, and that actually connects to the property we bought, this 12 and a half acres. We haven't cleared, there's a drainage ditch that runs at an angle through that property, so we haven't went on the other side over by their construction area. We will, once they get their heavy equipment out of the way, and we'll clean it up. But that'll make good access to Emma from our property. So at Southwest, they have the buildings separated, and they've got the construction walls up on the main gym. So there's, they've just boarded up the entrances into that main gym for now. They'll be cutting in a new double door on the north wall, and that'll let the kids get from the north campus into that gym through the school year. And we'll be pouring a concrete sidewalk over to the existing building. And then there's some portable trailers. We're getting power ran to those and sewer ran to those. And there'll also be sidewalks from all of those portables over to the gym and over to the north building.
You know, when Southwest is finished, we can do away with those portable trailers out there.
Yeah, they'll go away. And we've got our own portable trailers at Springdale High. I didn't show any pictures of them this month. They're done. We've got the fencing up around them, the perimeter fencing. Those trailers we actually own, so we'll be able to move those when we're done at Springdale High to the next project and stuff. So, but these rented ones at Southwest will go away. We can return those. We just leased them. So they've got the jobs trailer placed over at Southwest, and they've tore down the old original concession building where the where the weight room will go back in its place. And that's a picture of that. I'm going backwards here. So that's the new driveway that goes out to the south toward the All-Star Arena. We should have that complete, so all the construction equipment can come in and out of that. Yes, yep. So when school starts, it'll be a way to separate construction traffic and workers with the school traffic.
Are we gonna get rid of that bump?
Yes.
I think the rest of the people should suffer through that thing.
It's filled, we've got it filled full of gravel right now.
Who's our GC at Southwest?
Baldwin and Shell. Yep. So over at SOI, they're still working on the access road. And so as of today, they're behind Turnbow. They're almost to where they're gonna turn a 90 and to take it out to Don Tyson. So they started at SOI and they're working their way toward Don Tyson Parkway. So they're getting close to the parking lot there at Turnbow, so it's moving along really good. And at Helen Tyson, so we've got the heat and air units for all of Helen Tyson there, all but four. 4 of them are still back ordered, but we're gonna go ahead Monday. They're gonna have a crane on site, and we'll start lifting the old units off and putting the new units on. And then we'll have to bring a crane back out when the 4 show up. Right now, they moved. They were supposed to have showed up several times already. Supposed to be here on the 12th. They sent a message. Now they pushed it to August 8th. So I told them we're going to move forward with what we've got. We'll do the last 4 later. After school starts, we'll have to do it on the weekend or a holiday break or whatever. So we're working on that. So at Southwest, all of the dirt that's not usable on that construction site, we're hauling over to Helen Tyson and putting in that low spot. So it's a lot of dirt getting moved over, but it'll make that look a lot better. We're going to clean that up and make it easier to mow and maintain.
Mr. White, did you say a low spot?
A low spot.
Where's that
It's
at?
like a valley.
That's looking south from the driveway at Helen Tyson. It's probably 75 feet deep.
Where I'm from,
Like that.
It's pretty steep, but it'll be flat when we're done. Yeah, it's a valley that goes down toward Don Tyson. Okay, so we're still working with the insurance company on the tornado damage and the hail damage. So Dusty Graham has got us some renderings of what George Elementary could look like. And these are brand new. We still have a lot to look at, but it's possible views of the school. So it's got a new entrance on the front. So the wood looking part is actually the front of the building now. So that would be the kitchen, and what we would want to do is remodel the cafeteria, the current cafeteria, into a media center, flip the kitchen, move the serving line and the freezer coolers, and then add a cafeteria and a gym and a couple multi-use rooms. So it's all connected, just like the newer elementaries that we have. You walk through the cafeteria into the gym. So this would be on the south where the original gym pretty much was setting. The new gym was set in a real close area to that. And then that's on the back. So the cafeteria, that actually shows some outdoor seating for them to eat lunch and have outdoor areas. So that's,
On that, if you could back it up a couple slides.
mm-hmm.
If you can see the dining spaces with the round tables, we're actually moving that over to your right to where it's directly in line with the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
The music room and the stage that you can see that are backed up, it's like 2 classrooms right next to the dining, will go in the back where the outdoor seating is, and the outdoor seating will come around to the right and be more by the dining area and the kitchen. If that makes any sense at all, it's like playing
Yep.
Legos. But we felt that the dining space needs to match up or line up with going into the cafeteria, getting your tray and curling out, as opposed to being in a hallway where you can stack up. Does that make sense? It would be more like a large. So
And-
that change is being made. We'll-
And Dusty is working on that, and actually I got it about 30 minutes before I came down here. So
You care to email them?
I can email the new renderings that has all that shifted back to the south.
That'd be great, thank you.
Okay. There we go. Okay, So I was gonna do a quick transportation update. Um, As of right now, if we're 3 drivers fewer than we had last year. We've got 2 drivers that are in training. If they pass training and get their license before school starts, that'll put us 1 driver down less than we had last year. So I know we had some issues with some routes getting canceled, or we could run them in the morning or in the afternoon. And a lot of that was due to part-time drivers that could only drive mornings or afternoons. So we're working on a new plan for that. We should have that complete, a plan to look at maybe as early as tomorrow. But what that would involve is consolidating the bus stops. So we would have fewer bus stops to pick up the kids. And the reason this will help us is because you have less time. We can fill the buses quicker, get them to the school and unloaded and back out on a route so we can pick up more routes with the same amount of drivers. And it will help us, cover our absentee is about 10% on drivers. So by doubling up on our routes and having the quicker turnaround times, it should help us not to have to cancel routes. Our goal is to get everybody to school, on time and every day.
You said in essence, we're 1 driver down from last year. If those 2 guys passed their stuff, how many were we down when we ended last year? Approximately.
About 12. So there was 74 routes, and then I believe it was 19 sped routes. So 74 regular routes and 19 sped routes is what we had last year. And there was always about 4 that we couldn't run pretty much all year, on and off. So we're hoping by this consolidated bus stops, it'll help us on our turnaround times, and we can get everybody to school. So we're still working on the, we've got everything into this plan other than the high schools. So Tracy's working on getting the high school stops put in there. We've been having to work on stop locations, but we're trying to keep the buses on the main roads. So instead of going into every subdivision, we stop on the outside of them where the kids come to the main road. In the counties, they may have to come back to a rural fire department. Everybody around there can meet at the fire department or certain areas, but it all depends on the students in the areas and stuff. Some areas have more stops, if there's more students.
Here's some good news. We're working on a different kind of system for communication with parents. We've heard that last year. Communication was critical. It's, you can handle information better if you know in advance. So there's a computer system that we're working on trying to get. We think we can. It's a little pricey, but it's important, and it gives immediate text messages. You can have an app that you can see where the bus is. If you have a child and you're a parent, you know where it is, you know if it's on time and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know as much about it as Mr. White does, but I know he and Mr. Compton have worked diligently with Mr. Hayes to try to secure that.
Yeah, this system can contact the parents directly instead of us having to get a hold of a principal and the principal having to get a hold of the parents. If the parent chooses, they can sign up, and it gives them live data. They can set up where if they want to know the bus is 2 minutes out, it'll let them know. So it has a lot of options that's available. So we're working on that. We're working on several things with transportation to try to get communication better to the parents and then speed up our pickup times and drop-off times.
We're -1 compared to last year, but, so is 12 the number that we're down altogether still, even
We're-
with this consolidation of routes?
I mean, yeah, we're down, but this consolidated routing system, if it works like we think it'll work, I mean, it should help us. But we still need to add drivers, because like I said, there's always at least 10% out. You know, that it can go up and down, but there's always other events. There's athletics, there are field trips, that's extras. You know, and luckily we have several coaches that drive their teams or other teams to events, but we don't have any. We will have no sub drivers. So we need to get some extras in there just to have for spares. And like I said, 13 of the full-time regular route drivers we have are half-time people. So they can either drive AM or PM. They can't drive both. So we're still trying to recruit some even part-time people, because if we can pair up an AM and a PM person, we got a full person.
I'm sure I'm gonna be a sub driver.
Kelly's, but he only drives in the morning.
Yeah, I only got one.
You only counts half.
So we're working on it. We hope to have something more locked in by the end of this week, and go over with the whole leadership team and see if we can make that work to get better.
Teachers who have chosen to go ahead and sign a contract too, to drive in the morning and the afternoon too, and have their teaching contract. So it'll be a long day for them. They're stepping up to do that.
Yeah, we've had several. So like an elementary teacher and a secondary teacher worked perfect. One can drive in the morning, one in the afternoon. Coaches, a lot of times they can drive either morning or afternoon, depending on their sport, and you know if it's in season or whatever. So Tracy and Kevin's working hard to pair the right people together. I've got several maintenance people. They come in early for me, get their 8 hours in, then they go drive in the afternoon. I've got a few in the warehouse that come in later, so they'll drive a morning route. They'll pair up with one of my maintenance people. So we've been shifting our schedules around to try to create a full transportation position. All right. If you guys don't have anything else, I don't have anything.
Good job.
All right. Thanks.
Are you done with all your stuff? Okay. Do we have our SEA person here today? No? All right. Do we have any patrons that want to talk? I don't think I see anybody that's not supposed to be here. Holy cow.
Setting a record.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to go home. If somebody would like to.
Second.
We'll bring Mr. Ellis back and the rest of them.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, who made the motion?
You entertained it, I just said second, so I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, we got a motion by Mr. Thornby, we have a second? Sure. By Mr. Bell to adjourn. Thanks for being here, everybody. We'll see you in a month.
It'll be a long
And that is
day.
officially a new record.
Yeah.